Hello you guys, welcome back to another video. It's Alyssa here, and today I wanted to talk about going back to college / going back to school, and this video has been in the works for a while, and it's also been a video request. I just really wanted to make this video for people who want to go back to school and just haven't felt comfortable enough doing that, and just kind of the steps that I took to get there. And yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get started. I've been very blessed in doing this. It's not something that is easy, especially financially, and hopefully it helps some of you also go back or motivate you if that's something that you've been wanting to do. So going back to school, I'll give you kind of a recap. The reasons why I went back to school is because I just wasn't happy doing what I was doing. So that was being a full-time music teacher and teacher assistant, and it was on contract, so it was like my first big girl job. The pay was really low, but at the time I was like, wow, that's so much. My salary, I'll just say it, was actually $21,000 a year in Tucson, Arizona. The route that they wanted me to take was becoming a full-time teacher. I was getting very comfortable enough doing that, so I was totally accepting that in my head because I just wanted more money. But then I realized after thinking about it, it just wasn't gonna make me happy. That's never the direction I wanted to go to anyway. I've never wanted to be a teacher. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not something that I wanted to do. So I wasn't happy. I needed a challenge. I was getting kind of tired of the easy things that I was doing. I mean, I just showed up and it was exhausting dealing with the kids all day, and then I just go home and that was it. I just felt bored, didn't really know what to do, and also the pay. So those are my three biggest reasons. So how I did this, how I went back to school, I wouldn't have been able to do it without my family and Morgan and loans. So at the time, I was thinking a lot about going back to school, and I was constantly thinking about it, but I didn't think that it would be a reality. But then one day I went to my parents' house, and I think they knew that the first time around I did follow my dream of trying to get into the music industry, and it just didn't work out. I, worked part-time when I'm taking a bunch of loans. So loans, honestly, a scary thing for a lot of people. A lot of people don't want to obviously be in so much debt when they graduate, and it's a lot of money. It's scary, especially with interest nowadays. I just took another loan actually that was 10%. Just being totally honest here, and that's not like the only loan I've had to take out. They're scary. They suck. I'm the type of person that saw this as something that would be worth it. I know that some people, again, don't think that getting student loans or college is worth it, and that's totally up to you, obviously. The biggest thing is, if you're unhappy, then I would say go for it. It does really stress me out, so this kind of goes into like the sacrifices and the hard times that going back to school has done for me. There's definitely been hard times financially. I don't know. It's hard. Like when you're 18, you're like, oh, okay, college isn't that much. Think about how much it is and how much you should have tried harder, the first time around. So now knowing what I know, I'm definitely trying harder in school. My grades are worse, but that's because the major that I'm in now. But I feel really confident in knowing that these sacrifices and the hard times that we're going through are going to be worth it because of what I'm studying. I really hope that I get a good job with computer science. It's also that risk along with those sacrifices that you're making with these loans and only working part-time to go to school full-time. It's very difficult to feel confident in just having to keep going. There's been so many times where I'm like, maybe I should just quit now, or maybe I should just get a full-time job and go to school part-time. It has not been easy. I don't regret it though. Again, I think that this degree is going to be really good for me in my career. It's already opened some doors. I'm learning a lot. I mentioned some concerns I have and maybe some of the negatives of going back to school. Some positives, knowing that I have a direction that I'm going to that feels pretty promising, and it's like a respectable field. That's definitely worth it to me. And the pay, and like with the type of goals that I have for myself and for my future family, the goals don't feel unobtainable anymore. I don't feel like what I do for work isn't serious, and I never felt like people treated my work seriously. I'm in a way better situation, and something that I'm actually proud to talk about. It feels so good to say I'm studying computer science and pursuing my second degree. I'm a student software developer at the University of Arizona, and then I have another job where I teach kids coding at a company called Code Ninjas. I'm definitely working on building up my resume for computer science, and with that, I've also, like, in the short time that I've been in computer science, I mean, it's only been 2 years, but I feel like so much has happened. I've gone interviews that didn't go very far, I should say, but I've actually gone like into interviews with Google, L'Oreal, Amazon, and there's another one, and Honeywell. And I didn't make it far in the interview process for a lot of those companies, but to be even considered like for the first step and still like barely have gone into the major recently, I feel even better about getting to the degree. And those are definitely some positives and some good things that came along with this. Kind of going back to how I did my first undergrad, I just didn't really think about trying my best the first couple of years, but I just feel like I could have taken more advantage of the opportunities that were laid out in front of me. Now that I'm older and going back to school, I'm starting to realize the importance of it, and I think this time around, now that I am 25, I am definitely taking advantage of all the opportunities around me, and even though it can be exhausting and I don't feel as good as these 18-year-olds who are coming into the major with prior knowledge from high school, because these days programming is becoming a bigger deal. I can have negative thoughts about it. How am I gonna, compare to these 18-year-olds? Programming in high school when I was there wasn't that big of a deal. I don't even know if it was even existent. It's very hard to look at these 18-year-olds and how they weren't struggling in the beginning versus me, who was struggling the whole time because I've just never done computer programming at all. Making connections with them is like another thing that I just recommend. Just try to talk to everyone if you're going back to school. Who cares if they're younger than you? You never know where they're gonna end up as well, and you shouldn't just always look down on them because you're a little older. You should really see them as peers, and you guys should work together if you can. I've also gotten a little lucky because people think that I am younger than what I am. A lot of times I don't correct them. Yeah, that was just another concern or fear of mine in the first place, but now it just, no one really cares. Like, honestly, no one cares how old you are. You're doing it for yourself. People are there to learn. People are there to get a good career. Like, they have things to do. I just would not stress about that. I mean, really, it's not a big deal. Again, it's just exhausting, and I feel like it's taking so long. Like, I think I still have hopefully no more than 2 years, maybe a little sooner, maybe a little later. I feel like I'm just getting a little impatient. Being 25 and just feeling, I don't know, like I can't financially be stable, but I still don't regret it because I think back of if I didn't go back to school at all and I would still be at the same small school, teaching music and not being happy and not being treated right by the parents, the children, or the staff. So I definitely do not regret it. It's the best decision I've ever made. It's so rewarding, like so much has happened, and just people that I've met, so many opportunities. So yeah, I hope this helps. I hope this brings you guys some confidence. I have to be prepared for how hard it's going to be. So anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked my other videos or want to see more college related videos, feel free to like and subscribe. Saying that sounds so cheesy. I hope everyone has a good year. Stay safe.
You know I've been blind.